In 2026, the battle for property rights has moved from the courthouse to your own backyard. As housing prices hit record highs, a wave of controversial zoning reforms, and the fierce NIMBY, not in my backyard, backlash, has turned simple land use decisions into political war zones. While some states are forcing density to solve the housing crisis, others remain locked in a web of bureaucratic red tape that dictates everything from the color of your roof to whether you can park a trailer on your own grass. If you're looking to build anything from a small shed to a second dwelling, these 9 states are currently the most difficult and controversial places to break ground. 1. California. Why number 1? California is the epicenter of the zoning war. In 2026, the state has effectively declared war on local control, passing sweeping laws like SB 79 that overrules city bans on multifamily housing near transit. The controversy lies in the savage conflict between the state's mandate for density and local residents who want to preserve their single-family neighborhoods. Building even a simple shed or an accessory dwelling unit, ADU, involves navigating a labyrinth of environmental reviews and impact fees that can cost as much as the structure itself. It is a state where the right to build is a moving target constantly being redefined by the latest legislative salvo from Sacramento. 2. Vermont. Why number 2? Vermont's Act 250 is legendary for its ability to freeze development in amber. This decades-old law, recently expanded in 2026 under Act 181, requires massive environmental reviews for even minor land subdivisions. The controversy has reached a boiling point as critics argue the law's road rule, which triggers state review for any private driveway longer than 800 feet, is killing rural housing. Landowners are finding themselves unable to gift a piece of their family farm to their children because the permitting and engineering costs for a single house exceed the land's value. It's a state that values compact centers so much it has effectively banned traditional rural growth. 3. Massachusetts. Why number 3? Massachusetts is currently being rocked by the MBTA Communities Law, which mandates that towns near Boston must zone for multifamily housing or lose state funding. This has sparked a revolt in affluent suburbs where residents are fighting to keep large-scale projects out of their historic districts. The state also has some of the most restrictive minimum lot size requirements in the nation, with some towns requiring up to 2 acres for a single home. In 2026, this savage honesty is that if you want to build a secondary structure on your lot, you'll likely need a special permit that involves months of public hearings and neighbor disputes. 4. Hawaii. Why number 4? In Hawaii, land is the ultimate finite resource, and the zoning laws reflect that scarcity with brutal intensity. Only 5% of the state's land is designated as urban, meaning the other 95% is locked away in agricultural or conservation districts where building anything is nearly impossible. The controversy stems from a land use commission that holds ultimate power over boundary changes. Even on private property, Shoreline Management Area, SMA, permits can block a simple shed build if it's deemed to interfere with coastal views or access. It is a pay-to-play landscape where environmental and cultural preservation often trump individual property rights. 5. New York. Why number 5? New York's zoning controversy is a tale of 2 worlds: the historic district gridlock of the city and the SECRA, State Environmental Quality Review Act, hurdles of the suburbs. In 2026, Governor Hochul's Let Them Build budget proposal has ignited a firestorm by attempting to fast-track projects by exempting them from environmental reviews. Critics argue this allows developers to bypass protections for clean water and historic character. Meanwhile, in places like Long Island, home rule remains king, with local boards using aesthetic reviews to block everything from modern fences to solar arrays, keeping the quality of life high for the few while pricing out the many. 6. Connecticut. Why number 6? Connecticut is the land of exclusionary zoning. For years, the state has been criticized for using large lot requirements and bans on multifamily housing to maintain economic segregation. In 2026, new laws like HB 8002 are trying to force housing growth, but local opposition remains fierce. The controversy here is the car tax and personal property mindset. If you build a shed, your property assessment doesn't just go up once. It becomes a recurring line item in your annual tax battle. Many residents find that the legal fees to fight a zoning variance for a simple home office are higher than the construction costs. 7. Washington. Why number 7? Washington State recently passed HB 1110, essentially ending single-family-only zoning in its major cities. While celebrated by housing advocates, the controversy is fueled by investment entity bans, like the 2026 Senate Bill 5496, which criminalizes certain types of buyers to curb corporate ownership. Plus one. The savage part for homeowners is the design review process. It's a state that has legalized density on paper, but buried it under a mountain of soft costs and politicized enforcement. 8. Oregon. Why number 8? Oregon was the first state to eliminate single-family zoning statewide, but in 2026, the controversy has shifted to urban growth boundaries, UGB. These boundaries create an artificial cap on city size, driving land prices inside the line to astronomical heights. If your property sits just outside the line, you are effectively frozen in time, unable to subdivide or develop your land for anything other than specific agricultural uses. Inside the line, the missing middle housing push has created friction as historic neighborhoods are being bulldozed for fourplexes, leading to a loss of identity that has local voters in an uproar. 9. Colorado. Why number 9? Colorado is currently grappling with a childcare and housing zoning crisis. New 2026 legislation is attempting to preempt local land use laws to allow qualifying properties, like nonprofit land, to build housing regardless of local zoning. The controversy is a state versus city showdown, with the Colorado Municipal League arguing that these laws trample on home rule rights. For a typical homeowner, the struggle is often with water tap fees. Even if you have the right to build a shed or an ADU, the impact fee to connect it to the city's dwindling water supply can exceed $30,000, making the right to build a hollow victory. This savage honesty of American zoning in 2026 is that your deed to the land is often just a suggestion to the local government. Whether it's the state forcing density or a small-town board protecting its aesthetic, the individual homeowner is caught in the middle of a massive ideological shift. We are moving toward a future where property rights are communal rather than individual. If you live in one of these 9 states, the dream of doing what you want with your land is officially dead, replaced by a complex system of variances, impact fees, and administrative reviews. Before you buy that shed kit at the local hardware store, make sure you have a lawyer and a very patient heart on standby.